Yes. How many guys are willing? You know, one of my audiences that I really want to talk to are the single fathers, because I look at the situation, being in that situation my own self, and I look at the situation that many of them are in. They really, probably even more so than the married guys, are really in a predicament of, am I Michael Jordan? Am I Scottie Pippen? Now, I want to throw this out there real quick. Um, and I used to say, back when I was going through some stuff, I had a difficult time trying to be right and trying to be righteous. Now, let me define those. Right
Yeah,
was,
please.
I am going to do the right thing, which means that even if it was against me, I'm going to still try to do the right thing. The righteous thing, operationally defining that, was basically what was going to be effective. And I learned to use the effective word because I check out the one dude, Ryan Stone, and I got to give him credit for that. One of the YouTuber guys out there, he made that point in some of his vids. And at first I was kind of like, basically it was kind of in the context of a guy maybe in a situation where he may not see his kids after divorce. And so he's saying, I'm not going to get a divorce because I'm going to lose access to my children. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. She's doing this. She's doing this. But I'm going to take it. I'm just going to take it. And so it was that thing of, you know what? Sometimes you just got to be willing to do what's effective, which may be getting out of the situation, than doing what you just think is going to work and is the right thing to do. And so I'm going to bring that back around. That's where I look at even with these guys, or I think of even single guys out here with kids. We are often in that predicament of either doing what in this case we see as being right, or what is effective. Jordan seemed to be one that I'm going to do what is effective. So you may not like me because, well, he was calling. At first, I'm thinking he's saying "ho" like he's calling Horace Grant, but he's calling them hoes, like, a derogatory remark. Jordan called them all kind of names. It was funny how much he was swearing in practice and behind the cameras, and then when he gets out in front of the cameras, he's smiling here at Jordan. But that was the real Jordan. Knew, I have to do this. I don't care if you like me or not, but it's effective because we are going to win. We're going to win. And I don't know if still most guys are still going to be willing to take that shot or take that chance, because I'd rather be right. I just want to do the right thing. And sometimes I don't think you can do both.
Dang, you know what? I was mentioning this to you a couple of days ago. As I'm sitting back watching this, it's good that this is, obviously it had to be on cable TV, because I'm like, have you noticed how many times Jordan has dropped the F word in this
Mm-hmm.
documentary? And it's like there was towards the end of one of the episodes that I saw, he was just like, he was sitting in the locker room. He was like, "Is there something else I got to do? Can y'all just leave me here for a minute? Just let me be." It's
Mm-hmm.
like Jordan knows how to turn it on and turn it off. This is Jordan, a businessman. I'm all smiling, smoking a cigar or whatever. But this is Jordan when it's time to get the business done.
Yes.
Right? That's what I noticed throughout the whole documentary. There's Jordan, the brand, and then there's Jordan, the real man, the person
Ooh.
who's going to get the business taken care of. That's what I took from that. I'm like, that's the way you really got to be.
Mm.
It's like he went through that whole gambling thing. He didn't lose any endorsements
That's
because
true.
he was still a bankable entity. Like, I think people respected it. This is a real person.
Yeah.
Why are you going to take away from him now? He's taking care of business on the court. He just won his third straight title. What are we losing from that? He's actually a real person. We go to movies every day. Well, of course not now, but we go to movies and we hear the F bomb every day. This is how real people talk. So
Right.
it still didn't take away from the shine of Michael Jordan, the businessman. I really appreciate that.
Here's a question for you. Did Michael Jordan ever apologize? Did he ever apologize? Did he ever have that press conference where, I want to let everyone know for the trouble that I caused with my gambling? I want to let everyone know for the trouble. Has there ever been a Michael Jordan apology tour? Or has he ever just come out and
Dude,
said, I'm sorry for anything?
I'm glad they've covered this because I remember when the whole thing went down. Okay, just a side note, real quick. I don't know if this is going to come up, but it's intriguing that maybe it'll be in episode 6. I'm not sure, but they didn't talk anything about, because right after, he won that third straight title in '93. Then the gambling news was coming out. He decided to retire. Sometime after that, his father got murdered.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't d- up until I don't know what episode you up to now, but I'm like, it's kind of intriguing. They haven't mentioned it. I'm wondering if it's going to be in episode 6.
It's
But
going
to
to come
answer
up.
your question, he has repeatedly said, look, I haven't done anything wrong. I'm not going to apologize. I don't know if he actually said, I'm not going to apologize. But his point was, look, I'm not betting on games. I'm not taking points off of games. I'm not calling games that I'm involved in. He's a celebrity. He's a multimillionaire. He can do what he wants with his money. Why does he have to apologize for that?
There it is.
Any other person in life can be able to do that. At least he's not going to be in the poorhouse. If $10,000 for Michael Jordan is $1 for me and he can do that, why are people tripping?
That's what
He's
Barkley
winning
said.
basketball games.
Mm-hmm.
He's winning MVP. He's winning scoring titles. If this is what this man likes to do off the court, why are people tripping on it? He has nothing to apologize for. And I appreciate that's another thing I appreciate. Like, look, I did it. What? You can't prove that I did anything wrong. So what is all of this hostility about?
Mm-hmm. And you know what really makes me think about that even more is he had a lot to lose. Most people who do not even have the kind of endorsement that Jordan has or had, they would have apologized just on GP alone, because just even the hint of impropriety, they would have went on the apology tour of, I don't want to offend anyone, I'm sorry. But like you said, it seemed like Jordan was like, what? So what? And I'm
But
willing
this,
to still let it
okay,
go.
but see this, but here's my point. But okay, and this is what I'm saying. Like, when you look at it, there was, I'm going to throw this out here again. I know this is not something that you know about, but I'm saying this actually came up in an old White Shadow episode.
Not the White Shadow.
Yeah, man. You can't be a basketball fan growing up in the late 70s, 80s and not have watched the White Shadow and you like basketball. There was an episode where one of the players was gambling. He was winning money on the side or whatever. And then his bookie came to him like, dude, I'm going to pay you X amount of money, but I need you to lose the game tonight. And it put a fork in the road because he didn't want to, at that time, he was just betting on other teams. It didn't come to the point where it was actually on his front porch, like, okay, I want you to basically throw this game, right? So again, Jordan hasn't done anything wrong. What is an impropriety at that point? It's not like he didn't get caught cheating on his wife. He wasn't in, they didn't have some sex tape with Jordan coming out where we need to disassociate our brand from him. He did something that is legal. Las Vegas, or wherever he went, that is legal. It only becomes illegal. And they investigated him. They didn't see nothing wrong with any of the gambling that he did. What does Nike have to lose from that? He's still waving a peace sign in front of the camera.
Yes.
And he hasn't really done anything that's going to be shameful. So
yeah,
that's another point in the documentary that I really respect. He stood his ground again. Was Scottie Pippen that stood his ground?
No, I think
I don't
Pippen was
know.
like, I'm sorry. Just want to apologize to anyone I offended and hurt. But Pippen did stand his ground in the end, because, again, spoiler alert, they're going to ask Pippen, would he do it again? Would he sit? And Pippen's going to say he'd do it again. Or I don't know if they ask him, but Pippen says
Really?
he would do it again if he had to do it all over, which was like, this dude, if we go back to kind of what you laid out, this dude still hasn't had his red pill moment. He's still on the blue pill side.
Oh, can you confirm that he actually said that? I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, when you see the episode where they are talking to him about it, and he's going to say if he had to do it over again, he would. Yes, he said that.
That's still a simp move, dog. You mean to tell me 20 some years, it's 26 years since that has passed? Dog, come on. I mean, for all of the reasons that I already laid out, what I'm saying is the true leader knows when it's time to pass the baton.
Conversely, and that's a great point to kind of compare the two again, Jordan starts to cry at the end. It might be episode 8. He starts to shed tears. And if I remember correctly, it was more like, I think his exact phrase was, it was almost like they were, I think, asking him, how he treated some of his teammates, Horace Grant, BJ Armstrong, etc. And basically Jordan, it looks like he's tearing up, and he says something to the effect of, they can never say that I asked them to do something that I wasn't willing to do. That's a leader move right there. That's
Damn,
elite.
I
And
need
then
to see.
getting emotional all these years later, even thinking about it.
Damn.
So you got
Now,
Scottie Pippen, I'll do it over again. And you got Jordan saying, I'll still set that example.
damn, that pulls, I hate to keep using all of these outside examples, but it sounds, seems like you're a couple episodes ahead of me, so I haven't seen that yet. It brings to mind what people would say about Joseph Jackson when they say he was driving his kids so hard to get where they were getting. And it's like, I don't know if they ever asked him that question, but it would be intriguing to know how Joseph Jackson would answer that same question. Like, what you did to your kids, you were so hard on them, you pushed them, you drove them. But yet one of his sons and one of his daughters became two of the biggest entertainers in the world in the same family.
Yes.
If he was to go back 40 some, 50 some years, would he have driven his kids the same way if he had known that they were going to get to the point that they got to? Because in the end, it's all worth it, right?
And I'm in the closing minutes, we can get ready to wrap this up, but I think that's a great point to touch on, because would BJ Armstrong, Horace Grant, etc., would all of those guys that had these tremendous run-ins with Jordan, would they give all of that up to not get a championship, multiple championships in some cases? Would they be willing to give all that up to be treated better? And I think that's a very good analogy with the family again. And certainly I'm not saying that, the whole point of this is a dude should go home and, kiss his dog and slap his wife and be like, I hate you and I'm going on without you. That's not my point. My point is, when you have that Jordan mentality in your relationships, everybody can win. But when you have that Scottie Pippen mentality in relationships, you are going to lose and other people can't depend on you.
Damn.
And yet we're taught to have that Scottie Pippen attitude in our relationships. Be like Mike. This is one time I'm going to say, be like Mike. Be like Mike with your girl, with your family. Because in the end, I'm going to have to say, I think when they can trust dad, when the kids can trust dad, when the wife can trust her husband, there are going to be some things she's not going to like. There are going to be some things you say that are going to upset the kids and may have to motivate them, especially in this world today. But in the end, I have to think everybody's going to respect you for being the man and being an example of a man in their Household. And they win. You win and they win.
Damn. And that's one to grow on.
Man, we hitting all the Gen X references on this. Should I hit that? It's 7:00 where I'm at. Do you know where your children are at?
Oh man, I like that. Man, we're gonna have to. This is a good exploration. There's gonna be so many more other examples that we can feed off of. But this is hot right now because Last Dance. Maybe after I watch, what episode are you up to right now?
I think I've just completed 8, so I think it's 2 more after this.
Okay, so tonight I'm going to be watching episode 6 and maybe 7, depending on how much I got going tonight.
Okay.
But if something else comes out of that, we definitely going to have to do like a part 2 or something.
I'm down with this, man. I'm down. Like I said, it's good to have that, I don't know, kind of view it through our lens now as old geezers that we are, instead of being the young guys that we were back then where we probably didn't see those angles. So, man, absolutely. If you're willing to come back on, I'm willing to do it.
Oh, that's word. Let's do it. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in episode 6. It's the only thing, and I can't really complain about this, but it is so centered around Michael Jordan. It's like, are we really getting a full Bull story when it focuses so? I mean, Jordan was, you could argue, say Jordan was the Bulls, but the Bulls wouldn't have been what they were had Michael Jordan never existed. But at the same time, there's parts of it that makes me wonder if they could be sharing the microphone a little bit more. But that's for another topic. That's for another video, maybe. I need to watch the whole series first.
Yeah, I think I heard he was one of the executive producers or the executive producer or something on that. Yeah, and I did hear, I didn't listen to a story. I saw like a headline that Pippen was not happy with how he's being portrayed, which again, sorry, as a nice guy, how should they portray you? Because who's the real dude? You know what I'm saying? So again, it's like, now I'm mad they ain't betraying me right, And my wife
Okay,
on
wait.
Instagram, my ex-wife on
No,
Instagram.
wait. If he's going to be Scottie Pippen, maybe he should have sat the documentary out. How about that?
Oh,
Okay,
that's a
look.
perfect way to end it right there, my man. That's a perfect way to end it.
Okay, wait. This is the last question I got for you.
All right.
Okay, this is great. I love it. You know, the 6-time champion Chicago Bulls. It encapsulates everything that I loved about basketball at that time, because I don't watch basketball anymore. But here's the question. If we were to do a similar documentary for another sport, what team would we go for? I can see doing the Cowboys of the 90s.
Ooh.
Obviously, somebody would throw in the Patriots of the 2000s, the Lakers of the 80s. I don't know, the 49ers of the 80s. What other team could you see a successful Last Dance documentary possibly working,
Man,
that would
that is
work
an
out?
excellent question. I'm going to go with what your first one, the Cowboys of the 90s, because in terms of having a storyline, you have so many storylines in that one. You and I might have to bring one of my other boys who's a super Cowboy fan on for that one, because you have, man, you got the Emmett, the Troy. You even had a story that you get into the Herschel Walker on how that trade put that whole stinking team together.
Damn,
So
there you
they could
go.
get a lot of episodes out of that. And it's funny because for baseball, I can't think of nobody for baseball unless you take the Braves during the years they had, like, ended up in the World Series like 3 or 4 times and never won, something like that. I mean, but it feels like it'd be kind of boring. But I think John Rocker will probably be the biggest story out of all of those teams. But I think your Cowboys is number one on that.
Well, and I would, you know why? You know the reason why I would pick the Cowboys is because, okay, first of all, like I said, I really, for the last decade, I just haven't been into sports the way I used to be. But if you want to talk about on field and off field, like, the Cowboys got those stories. I mean, I told you that one story about Michael Irvin. You know, there was rumors about Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith's injuries. There's so many things that we could go into on and off the field with the Cowboys. I don't know enough about the Patriots to say, is that a good comparison? Is there enough going on with Patriots off the field that it would carry a whole documentary?
Not until Aaron Hernandez, ended up, everybody found out what a G he was, and he goes to prison and then allegedly, gets killed or kills himself, or I can't remember how it happened. I'm watching that documentary at the moment as well. But outside of that, the Patriots have just been pretty bland. They're, because to use the old term, a frame, it's like with the Patriots, you go to the Patriots, you're going to do things their bland way. That's just it. Whereas, with many of these other teams, you were able to still be yourself and have these little dalliances, like we say with the Cowboys, and there's some stories there. But with the Patriots, unless somebody has some dirt on Tom Brady that we don't know about, there's nothing really there.
Yeah, I can't see it. Okay, all right.
I like that.
Well,
that's a good question, though. That's a real good one.
Yeah.
Anything you want to close out advertising for yourself? I'll leave it up to you, and I'll get ready to close it out.
Man, I'm gonna keep this, what we doing right here, completely separate. So one of these days in the future, we'll get into that. But right now, I want to focus on what we're doing right now. We can, for people out there who are checking out this video, just to let you know, we got some stuff that's coming out, and I can't wait to get to it.
Yes. I like that lead in, brother. All right, man, I'm going to let you go because I know it's late where you at, far later than it is here in the nice, sunny AZ, yo. So we're going to say goodbye to everybody. Man. Woo, man, thank you for staying up, man, doing this with me. I couldn't be talking about relationships and basketball without the true basketball Jones on here.
Yo, we'll be back.
Indeed. All right, y'all. Peace. Holla at y'all next time.
That was word. Holla.